So I've got some ideas here you can look at later, and I've kind of popped them in the order that you might end up going through them. But let's say you end up saying, right, I'm going to have a 15-minute little segment on each of our weekly team meetings. And once a month, I'm going to run a 30-minute training. Here are some ideas on what you can work on in those trainings. Next week, we are going to run the Business Systems Accelerator training for your team. Now, your team won't attend that training. I'm just going to record it and make sure it's something that's going to be, helps them to understand why systems are important to them and why they should support it and how they can support you as the systems champion. I'll record that video. One of the first things you could do is share that round, and then in your workshop, talk about, well, what did you learn? What did you take from it? Maybe another topic for one of your meetings is to brainstorm some of your systems and thinking about atomic habits we talked about in the very first session. How can we make some of these things obvious and attractive, easy and satisfying? How can you think about that karate instructor that couldn't get the rest of his team to follow the process, and what could you do to modify and make it easier for your team to follow that process? As a group, discuss and identify essential, repeatable, delegatable tasks. What should happen, and I'll mention a couple of times because you want to get really good at this. If you can identify 3 to 5 essential, repeatable, delegatable tasks that every new team member should learn, and maybe it's tailored based on the department that they're joining and what they're doing, but every department should have at least 3 to 5 systems that at the drop of the hat are documented to a sufficient level that when a new team member comes on board as part of their onboarding, you can say, great, over the next couple of weeks, I want you to learn these tasks first, as a way for them to cut their teeth, as a way for those lower, more repetitive tasks can be taken off the plate of the more skilled team members. So, and, showcasing great systems could be another idea for one of these workshop meetings. And also, last one here, and we'll talk about this particularly in the optimize phase, this idea of identifying problems and challenges and how do we fix them at the system level. Now, I was just going to double check. Is there anyone else that can hear the squealing kids on their back deck? Is that just me? No, you can't? Okay, that's just me. That's good. I'll pretend like they're not there. If we think in terms of getting it on the calendar, the next step here is to deploy system culture quick wins. And here's a bunch of ideas, and we brainstorm them on the first one, and maybe this becomes a topic for one of your meetings. But what are some quick things that you can do to start to build up evidence that you're a systems-driven company? And can you set up a particular channel for, on your instant messaging that everybody shares, and it's the systems channel, and you share and showcase systems and processes that the team are building that are working? Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to ask them to go inside because it might not be distracting you, but it's distracting me. Hey, boy. There we go. Oh, good. You all still waited. Thank you. All right, let's continue. So sharing solid systems, celebrating those wins. Think about how you can build up prizes and maybe gamify this. We'll talk a little bit about that on the Tedowunka systems, which we'll get to shortly. But how can you celebrate that and have wins for people? Maybe it's a little lunch voucher if someone identifies a delegatable, repeatable task and then works with you to get that documented. Sticky notes, putting QR codes around, and other things that you can do is sharing some of the videos that we share at Systemology. Like we'll send out podcast episodes, and if you're subscribed to our newsletter, you'll know we get YouTube videos, and there's lots of resources on the website, or maybe you're going through a particular training and you share that with someone. Again, anything that you can do as a systems champion to keep the discussion going, to keep it front and center. Just by you attending this, you're already starting to take the actions to reinforce that you work in a systems-driven company. Like this is an evidence piece. Getting them to watch the video that we'll record in the next session will be an evidence piece. And we keep collecting these until we reach a point of, oh yeah, that's how we do things here, and we're a systems-driven company.